You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. All the questions you see coming in here from our live Cowboys Report, you ask them, we answer them, except for some of these super thanks that we always promise to answer and give some shout-outs to. Mighty Ant. Tom, I think we should have signed Julio Jones because every time he touched that ball, I saw he torched us. Didn't see the whole game. Now, this came in before week 2. All these super thanks pretty much did. Just keep that in mind. Julio is, again, banged up. And I think that's why you didn't sign him. You did not trust him to stay healthy. He had a great week 1, and then once again got hurt. Now, if you don't know what super thanks are, allow me to explain. It's a new feature on YouTube. Unlike the super chat, which you can only do in live shows, super thanks allow you to donate outside of live videos. Simply click the thanks icon on this video or any Cowboys Report video. And if you do a super thanks, we'll give you a shout out because we appreciate your support here at the Cowboys Report. Mighty Ant again here. Giants cut Blake Martinez, or why did they cut him? Would it be good to get rid of Barr for Martinez? Is it cost effective? Let me break this down here. No, in short. Blake Martinez can't cover. He's a decent run stopper, but you don't need those guys in the modern day NFL in the same way. You need someone who can actually cover. Martinez is a tackling machine, but too often downfield. So Anthony Barr's played fine. I'm going to keep him, not worry about Blake Martinez. Now, you guys, if you have a free agent in mind you want to sign, let me know in the comment section which free agent, if any of the available ones, you want the Dallas Cowboys to go out and sign. Massive Matt, think about Dallas fans throwing trash at a hurt Dak. I get he played bad, but I thought that was pretty crappy for them to do that. Yeah, I mean, in general, don't throw trash at people. Like, that kind of feels like a very obvious thing that I feel bad we have to communicate. Like, whether they're playing bad or great, or if it's a Cowboy or an Eagle, like, don't throw things at players. That's, like, kind of basic human decency. I agree, Matt. Don't do that. All right, Tyler Parrott, a $5 super thanks. Let's tank for a top 10 pick. Again, I emphasized before week 2 when this one came in. Extend our guys based on having a backup at QB numbers. If it was just one game, I see a ceiling for our offense with Dak at quarterback as middle of the road at best. It was a very bad performance, one of the worst I've seen Dak Prescott play. They looked better overall, the supporting cast did, in week 2. Big problem here. If your guys like CeeDee Lamb, if your guys like Tony Pollard, etc., and the Cowboys are lowballing you because of the numbers you had with Cooper Rush, and that's why they're lower, why would they take that deal? So if they bottom out, yeah, I'm all for a tank. I don't think the Cowboys are going to go that route. The offense does worry me because, again, your supporting cast got worse, and it's a, wow, we're worse on offense kind of surprise from the front office, which kind of feel like they're scapegoating a little bit here because we've shown them as a fan base, we can't replace the Joneses. We'll still get mad at our quarterback and head coach and others if they don't play well, even if the environment created by the Joneses isn't very good. So with that in mind, especially in light of all the injuries, which I think is a pretty big red flag, at least for me, I'm very worried about those injuries. Do you believe Dak is a franchise guy? Y for yes, N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad break happens to come here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in Y for yes or N for no. Emmett Lambert, a $2 super chat. Will Gallup play this week? I think you'll see him out there. This is, again, filmed on Monday. I've kind of had the week 3 circled as this is when I think Gallup comes back. That's been their plan internally. So as long as there are no setbacks at practice, I think that Gallup will play in week 3. All right, Andrew Vanderpool, $5 super. I owe some beer cheers. I promise you guys will get to that here after the cut. Any update on when Peters will play? Or we're looking to playing McGovern when he gets healthy and keep Peters at, I think you mean either practice squad or swing tackle, swing tackle. No real updates here. Here's the issue. I don't think Matt Farnick has played well at all. I think he's been pretty rough at left guard. I think your best 5 somehow involve Jason Peters and Tyler Smith. I don't think you want to put either guy at right tackle because it's a very tough change. Smith, you probably don't want to have that kind of growth development. Peters he's 40 years old. You want to go play right tackle. When he's played guard, Peters hasn't been that good. So I think both guys are best at left tackle. Maybe you keep Peters as your emergency insurance option for now, at least when McGovern gets back. That's a very tough one. Let's see how week 3 plays out. Maybe we'll have more information then. $10 now from Zach's Cracked. I don't think the offense line is a good excuse for not taking shots down the field. We have speed, 2 to 3, wasted downs can be used throughout the game to do that, in my opinion. So I agree with you that I would still take shots downfield. I think that is an excuse and less of a reason for why the offense overall, when they're down even just one starter on the offensive line, doesn't like shots downfield. I would also like shots downfield to not be max protect, play action pass. It has never worked one time for this Cowboys offense. Teams always read it perfectly. It's too obvious. But that's what the Cowboys feel. But Zach, I agree with you, although you speak with Kevontae Turpin. Nobody else is that fast on your offense. Even Gallup is a vertical threat because he's a good ball tracker, not a premier, 4.3 speed guy. Now, if you want the Cowboys to win in Week 3 in Monday Night Football against the Giants, then subscribe. Send that good energy. Throw the emoji if you want to in the comment section. For the Week 3 matchup, simply put, sub for Cowboys dubs. Super Chat time from Monkey Gaming. With Zeke's last year rumors and Tony Pollard in last year of his contract, what will the plan be next year? Is it possible our backs are all new faces? Yeah. Pollard might get paid elsewhere. Zeke has looked solid, but Pollard, again, remains more explosive. Is a big contract. There's an out in Zeke's deal. He's kind of on the Tank Lawrence, Amari Cooper train of, got to make a call here. So maybe Rico Dowdle, Malik Davis hang around, but you could absolutely be looking at a new back, or at least a new lead back in Dallas in 2022. Crispy Bacon, let him talk. And this is a reference to Marshall, our Giants host. Andrew Thomas going to be exposed by Micah. That'll shut him up. Learn your place. If I were the Cowboys, I would put Micah Parsons versus Evan Neal. He's had some rough reps so far this year, but Thomas played great. Evan Neal looks like a first-year player at right tackle. From Zachary Carrasco, $2 super chat. When will the Cowboys see Micah and Sam Williams at edge? So Micah's played basically pure edge. He's blitzed all but like 6 times. They have played Sam Williams. He's had 16 snaps so far. There were some pass rush reps. There was a hands to the face that got declined against the Bengals. Sam Williams is a backup for you. Honestly, he hasn't made any real impact despite getting some reps. He's just been a raw, quiet player at this point. Today's show is made possible by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code right there on screen, Cowboys125. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys125. Must put down at least $100 to be eligible. You can bet on Week 3. The Giants at home are a 2.5 point favorite against Cooper Rush. Low over under sub 40s. They're talking like, 20-17 type of game here, much like the Cowboys-Bengals one. If you want to bet against the Giants, do it. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys125. From Christopher, Giants might be 2-0. Panthers were 3-0, also against bad teams, and they had to play the Cowboys. It's funny. I do wonder if we think about how we thought the Titans would be pretty good and the Bengals would be pretty good. And I'm not sure either of those two teams are going to end up being that good this year. Bengals are in a hangover. Titans lost to the Giants. They kind of blew that game. So I'm not going to take the Giants like the way I have the past few years. They're the much more serious threat. The Cowboys absolutely can win that game. From Crispy Bacon again, Micah putting up those pressure rates and he's getting held almost every pass rush attempt. I will say this. Holding is legal in the NFL if you keep it here and in front of your man. You're allowed to hold like this. The problem is when you start holding back here or the guys around you and then you start grabbing from behind, that's where it's a hold. So I think that people see a physical holding that's legal and they don't get it called. I will also say this. Holding rates are down in the NFL. It's got to be fairly egregious, which also, again, makes what Mike is doing so impressive so far. Logical LB, Tom wanted us to draft Patrick Surtain. Cheers, though. It's actually so. Yes, I did want Patrick Surtain, and to be clear, the Cowboys, had Patrick Surtain been available, also would have taken him. Now, I also wanted to either trade down more or take Rashawn Slater. But adding on to this here, Surtain's really good. Rashawn Slater is really good. You kind of had no bad routes to go with that pick. And had anybody known that Micah Parsons had this pass rush ability, he would have been the number 3 overall pick at minimum, not gotten to you down outside the top 10. So, yes, I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. J-Buzz, when Dak comes back, should we keep a similar game plan with Rush with the defense playing this good? I think what you want to keep is being able to run the football when you are allowed to. And what I mean by that is not getting yourself into 3rd and forever. Opposing defenses are going to dare you to run the football. Early in last year's campaign, you could do it, and we saw how great the offense was. Later in the campaign, the Cowboys' ground game was shut down. Teams had light boxes, and they could not have success on the ground. This year, the ground game success is back against light boxes. I don't want to be an only run the football team. I don't want to be the Bears in week 2. That was a terrible offense to watch and have any success. But when teams say, you know what, 4-man front, 2 linebackers, you've got a tight end in there, it's 7 on 6 if you include your back, you can run the football. When that happens, you have to be able to. When there are 2 high shells, have to be able to run the football. So if that's what you're referring to, yes. If you mean easy throws for your QB, also yes. Find the things. Your job as a play caller is to make the life of your offense easy. They did not do that in week 1. They did do it in week 2. Billy Bob Jean, another super chat. When is James Washington coming back? Will he start? He's eligible after week 4. I don't see him starting at all. I think Noah Brown's better, CeeDee Lamb's better, and then Gallup's back by then too. So best case, he's your wide receiver 4, and they like Dennis Houston. Kawhi Turpin has a role as a gadget guy on this team. So by week 4, but no, he's not going to start, barring more injuries. Jeremy Shaver, the cooler Jeremy, your opinion on Jamar's comments toward Trayvon Diggs. I mean, it's receivers. I want both my receiver and my DB to be super cocky, have that confidence. I think that Trayvon Diggs' response was, we did a pretty good job. Kind of checks out. So it's fine. I ain't mad at Jamar Chase, like whatever. But, not like they played a great game either. All right, MNZGMS, $10 super chat. Yeah, say that 10 times fast, exactly. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. J-Buzz, we losing Dan Quinn in 2023, aren't we? I mean, kinda. Yeah, that's kind of, I think, where they're at a little bit here with losing Dan Quinn. He's either back or he is, he's your DC or your head coach. So I think it's probably going to be a situation of, hey, he's our head coach, or he gets a head coaching job somewhere else. All right, J-Buzz, which NFC East teams are you actually afraid of? The Eagles. I still am not on board as an actual, real playoff threat with your offense back to normal-ish. I'm not that scared of the Giants or the Commanders yet. So true or false? The Cowboys will win the NFC East. Type in T for true to break the curse of no repeat winners, or type in F for false. T or F right now in the comment section. J-Buzz, again, let's say we miss the playoffs. As good as Dan Quinn is, do we want a defensive head coach? Seems like the young offensive head coach is the way to go, not Kellen Moore, though. I think you're onto something here, J-Buzz. It's not Kellen. Okay, come on. Unless he's something gets good the rest of the way, it's not Kellen. Consistently good. I don't want to, who is your OC? I think that the Giants' way of Brian Daboll is better. Now, if Dan Quinn can find a good OC, sure. I will say this. Do a real search. Interview more than just 2 or 3 people before you hire someone, because the fake searches aren't great. Marcus Arnold, we didn't use play action nearly enough. I got it down as 7 play action dropbacks. I think they had a scramble on one of them, or was that the sack play? I think it was maybe a throwaway. 7 play action dropbacks for the Cowboys. Not that many. I wouldn't mind a little bit more. They were a much better play action team, though, this week than they were last week. The Bucs did not fear play action at all. The Bengals did. From Pug Racer, Remember last week when people said the season is over? Cooper Rush and Noah Brown will win us a Super Bowl. That, my friends, is overreaction Monday to a T, 85 Hive as well. Logical LB, I think Diggs low-key is going to tackle head on. So Diggs did make a critical tackle late in that game. He has never been a good tackler or a great run support player. That was a potential game-saving tackle, though, on Tyler Boyd. He wasn't scared on that play. Last one from Gary Sane. Was glad to see those couple personal fouls. Need to play with some fire and a little bit of a mean streak. I think there was the illegal hands to the face on Sam Williams. I do think more fire and mean streak is good. Don't hurt your team. But the Cowboys last year, Gary, and you're right on this, got punched in the mouth, and they never responded well enough. Hopefully that changes this year. If we did not get to your question here, I am available on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. Hit me up at WhatGoingDowney with any and all questions that you have. If you didn't get to them answered on live, or if you thought of something afterwards, feel free to slide in to my DMs.